Stop the snooze. Good news for Apple Watch wearers, and let's have cake.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Well, hello there, and welcome to a Tuesday. It is August 11th, 2020, day 304. I've got to get on Ellen. That's right. See if there's a show for me to continue to get on. What will I count down or count up to once I do finally get on Ellen? That is the question. Ooh, maybe on the cover of Oprah? Yeah, that'll be a long countdown. So maybe I'll move on to that. You never know. Some good news for you on this Tuesday morning. If you wear the Apple Watch, Google Maps is back. Did you know it was gone? Been gone for 3 years. They quietly removed the app back in 2017. And when I say they, I mean Google. Google removed the app from the Apple Watch. I know they didn't take it from the phone because I use it all the time. You know, Apple came out with their own Maps program, not really comparable. I don't know if they've made improvements, but I do prefer Google Maps to the Apple Maps program. So if you have been missing Google Maps on your watch, it is back. If it's not back now, it will be back soon. So the technology that we have now, it's kind of crazy. They say that the Apple Watch is the number one smartwatch with 38% of the market. I don't know what they consider a smartwatch. Are they talking about the Fitbits and that kind of thing? Because they're not really watches. But are they considering them watches? I don't know. I just don't know who else. Where is the other, 42%? Who else? Not 42%. Don't make me do math in the morning. Don't make me do it. Where's the rest? Let's put it that way. Where is the rest of the watches? I mean, I'm sure that there's some Android ones out there, but I don't know who else really has these smartwatches. It's pretty funny to me. The watches were just so done. Nobody was wearing a watch anymore. Only Apple could bring back the watch. I may get one of these days. In fact, I think I'm going to make that my topic for today. I really didn't think that many people had them, and I think I am mistaken. I think a lot of my girls in the hood here do wear an Apple Watch. I don't know. I don't feel like I need one. I've got my phone. I've got my iPad. I've got my Kindle. I've got my TV. I have everything I need. I don't feel that I need an Apple Watch. But, things change. Who knows? Very disturbing story on the news this morning. A 17-year-old employee at Sesame Place in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, hospitalized after having to have surgery after being assaulted by a couple when he told them for the second time that they must comply with the mask mandate. Assaulted a 17-year-old for doing his job. I just don't know what this world is coming to. You are absolutely right when you say it is your prerogative to wear a mask. It is absolutely their right to not allow you into their establishment. I don't understand what the problem is. You don't want to wear a mask? Don't go to Sesame Place. It's a children's place, and they're assaulting 17-year-olds. Now, the people who did this took off after they assaulted the 17-year-old to the point that they needed surgery. And they have not been found. So here's hoping that they are found and found quickly. It's just gotten so absurd. These people who just berate cashiers, and this happened a lot when our town had banned one-use plastic bags. Everybody's allowed to use them again now because of the pandemic. Thank goodness I have my pooper scooper bags back. Don't have to worry about that. But when it first went into effect, it was really annoying because you had to bring a bag in everywhere to any type of store. And the worst was going into a convenience store like Wawa or 7-Eleven, what have you, because you just forget. You're just used to running in and, sometimes, most of the time, you don't need a bag at a place like Wawa or 7-Eleven, but sometimes you do. And when people realized that they were no longer provided a bag, which is a whole different topic because I still very against the single-use ban bag. Give me a bag. I want a bag. But another topic for another time. It is not that cashier's fault that they're not supplying bags anymore. But yet that's the person who gets screamed at and berated because that's the person that's there. It's horrific. I mean, people need to just check themselves and stop being such idiots. And I want to say worse words. Jerks. We'll go with jerks. But to assault a 17-year-old at a children's amusement park? It's insane. It's kind of like the badge checkers here at the Jersey Shore. Never in a million years would want one of my children or any family members to be a badge checker. The people are so rude to these kids, and these are young kids. Some of them as young as like 14 and 15 years old. They're just trying to get their first job under their belt. One of those jobs that you can be a little bit younger for. They're all excited. They want to work. They want to make some money. And then you've got some idiots screaming at you, what do you mean it's $10 for a one-day badge? Well, that's highway robbery. That's insane. Okay, they didn't set the prices. It is just their job to make sure that you are following the rules and purchasing them. If you don't want to pay for the beach, go to a free beach. There are free beaches. Sandy Hook, I believe, free beach. Wildwood, free beach. Atlantic City, free beach. Go there. Don't come to the ones that you have to pay for. There are plenty of options. But by all means, do not berate the poor 14-year-old girl that's just trying to make some pocket money. Ugh. I know this is not very inspirational or positive, but this is out of control. So I will get off my soapbox now, but my faith in humanity is just dwindling each and every day. It is very sad. I feel very bad for these poor kids. Really anybody. I mean, nobody really needs to be. There was a video that was making the rounds. This was at our local Costco of a man going off on the cashier, calling her names, saying he was going to slap her around, telling her to get her husband there, that he would beat the crap out of him. I don't even know what it was that set him off. He has been arrested. Thank goodness. But these people now, and I don't know who these people are, but they just feel like they can say whatever they want, whenever they want. And it's gotten way out of control. So moving on to more pleasant things. Today's topic, I wanted to talk about chocolate or vanilla cake and what type of icing. I posted a picture of the cake that I had gotten Joe for his birthday. Joe, big chocolate cake fan. Me, not so much. I like yellow cake or vanilla cake, or my favorite is just plain old pound cake, which is very difficult to find anymore, by the way, especially when it's like a real cake with the icing and all that kind of stuff. So I compromised when I got Joe's birthday cake because, it is Joe's birthday, so he should get what he wants, right? But I wanted to have cake too. I mean, Call me selfish. That's okay. I wanted cake too. And I went to a real bakery and got a real bakery baked cake. And I wanted to make sure that I got to enjoy some. So I got the chocolate cake, but then I got vanilla buttercream icing. It's like one of those old-fashioned cakes that I haven't had in years, because now we get them from the supermarket or what have you for, many occasions, and they're just not the same. Boy, this was a good cake. Oh, there are like 3 pieces left, and I put them in the freezer so I won't be tempted. Joe's like, I'm moving on to ice cream. I'm like, all right, I'll finish the cake. Give me the cake. Marcy says, any cake with homemade buttercream icing. Marcy, I would like to have one of your cakes. Marcy makes amazing looking cakes. I've never tasted it. They look delicious, but she's very into the decorating of the cakes and doing different themed cakes and stuff like that. And I would love to try some of her homemade buttercream icing. Jim says vanilla cake with vanilla icing. I'm with Wendy. I'm not a fan of chocolate cake, but unlike her, I wouldn't eat it if there was no other choice. I mean, if there's no other choice, I'm having dessert. I don't care what it is. Unless it was a chocolate layer cake with raspberry or cheesecake or peanut butter to offset the chocolate cake. Well, that's what I said. There's so much icing on this, I can barely tell it's chocolate cake. Michelle says, I'm not picky. I'll eat chocolate or vanilla cake with any kind of icing. Lots and lots of icing. Melissa says, I grew up with my mom always making yellow cake with chocolate icing, but I prefer chocolate cake with vanilla icing. Denise says, homemade cake. I like to make devil's food cake with cream cheese icing. I think my husband would enjoy that. Kate says, chocolate with fudge icing. Now that is chocolatey. Cheryl says, angel food, no icing. Don't you have to put strawberries on top of angel food cake? Isn't that like a law? I think it's a law, Cheryl. I'm just telling you. I think you're breaking the law. We've been experimenting, and when I say we, I mean Joe. Joe has been experimenting with pound cake, which we don't ice, but we powder sugar at the top. I love that. Oh, I love the powder sugar, too. When we do purchase pound cake, try to get some Stocks pound cake. If you're from the Philly area, you're familiar with Stocks. It comes in a loaf. It's like a loaf, and it has a little thin layer of vanilla icing on top. That's a traditional. They do have chocolate icing as well. Man, it is good. Oh. Now I want cake. I got some in the freezer, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it for someday when we don't have any dessert. On to the blog post for today. Stop the snooze. Stop the madness. When it comes to living with intention, the absolute best thing you can do is get up when the alarm goes off. I mean, the first time. Breaking the snooze habit is so freeing. You know when you're getting up. There are no questions about it. No late mornings because you hit the snooze button one too many times. No more breaking promises to yourself first thing in the morning. Because if you set your alarm for a certain time and you don't get up at that time, you are breaking your promise to yourself that you are getting up when you say you will. Not to mention, who wants to make such important decisions first thing in the morning? Can I squeeze one more in? Could I squeeze one more in? How about when you decide you are getting up so you turn the alarm off, but then you fall back asleep again anyway? Then you are definitely late. Breaking this habit can be hard. It will be hard. But once you do, you will be so happy you did. Set your day off right. You will have the time to get in what you want first thing in the morning, whether it be working out, a good breakfast, some alone time with your gratitude journal and setting your intentions for the day. The best part, for me anyway, was that there was no more guessing what time I was actually going to get up. When I was in college, I developed a horrible, horrible snooze habit. I put the alarm clock across the room, so I would have to get up to turn it off. Didn't matter. I would get up, turn it off, run back to bed. I would do this for up to 3 hours sometimes, and it was so stupid because what kind of sleep was I getting running to the alarm clock every 9 minutes? Yeah, not great sleep. It got to the point where I slept right through it. During final exams one year, I had my friend's mother call me to make sure I was up, so I didn't sleep through my exams. I was out of control. Desperate measures were called for. My mother got me an alarm that didn't have a snooze button. Not only that, but the noise it made was so obnoxious, I got to the alarm to shut it off as fast as I could. It cured me of the snooze habit immediately. My advice to you is to get an old-fashioned alarm, something like it's in the picture that I posted today, something that doesn't have a snooze button. Or maybe try one of those alarms that you have to complete a puzzle or a math problem before it will shut off, something that will force you to get out of bed the first time. Once you kick this habit, you will realize how detrimental it has been all this time. I know there is a feeling of euphoria when you realize you can drift back off to sleep once that alarm goes off. You're like, oh, thank God I can hit the snooze. I know. I remember the feeling well. But you are really just delaying the inevitable. You will have to get up eventually. And now you may be running late. You're just prolonging the pain. It's like a form of torture. Honestly, it's like a form of torture. Get up right away. Know your schedule. Know that you will have enough time to get done what you intend to before leaving for work or starting your day. Unfortunately, this is one of those things you won't realize how great it is until you've done it. Getting up on time when you intend to starts your day off right, and you can live intentionally. That is what this is all about. Oh my, it is Taco Tuesday. Grab a healthy one and get up on time starting tomorrow. You will not regret it. And if you do regret it, if I'm wrong, go back to the snooze, but give it a try. I have a feeling you won't go back. Now, I would like you to get on out there and be your big old badass self. As always, I'm cheering you on.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit Hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.
Stop the snooze! Stop the madness!